She'd been making coffee at Harbor Café for 5 years. Just a quiet barista who never raised her voice, never questioned orders, until the morning when armed robbers burst in, and she neutralized both threats in 30 seconds with the precision of someone who'd eliminated enemies in the world's most dangerous places. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before we begin this intense story of a coffee shop worker whose precision once eliminated threats in the world's most dangerous places, tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. And if you believe true warriors can be found in the most unexpected places, hit that subscribe button and help us uncover their hidden service. Maya Chen had been making coffee at Harbor Café for exactly 5 years. Every morning at 6 a.m., she would unlock the glass door, flip the sign to open, and begin her ritual. The same precise movements, the same careful attention to detail that had made her the most reliable barista in downtown Seattle. At 35, Maya was the kind of person customers barely noticed. Average height, dark hair, and a practical ponytail, wearing the same navy blue apron every day. She spoke softly, moved gracefully, and remembered everyone's order without writing anything down. "Large coffee, 2 sugars, no cream," she would say before Detective Mike Sullivan even reached the counter. Sullivan always smiled at her accuracy. "You've got a better memory than our police database, Maya." Maya would just nod politely and continue working. She never engaged in small talk, never gossiped about neighborhood drama. She simply made excellent coffee and maintained the peaceful atmosphere that had made Harbor Café beloved. But there were things about Maya that even observant customers didn't notice. The way she always positioned herself with clear view of both entrances. How her eyes swept the room every 30 seconds. The fact that she never seemed startled by loud noises. Young barista Jake Martinez had worked alongside Maya for 2 years, and he'd noticed some details. "Maya, you're like a robot sometimes. You never spill anything, never mess up orders, always know exactly where everything is." Maya would smile quietly and continue working. Jake didn't know that her precision came from years of training where mistakes could mean death. Dr. Sarah Kim, a trauma surgeon who stopped by every morning, had noticed things others missed. The small scar on Maya's left hand, the way Maya's eyes hardened watching news reports about overseas conflicts, the fact that Maya never seemed fazed by medical emergencies. "Maya, have you worked in healthcare? You stayed incredibly calm when that man had a heart attack last month." Maya had paused while steaming milk. "I've had some basic first aid training, nothing formal." But Dr. Kim had seen the way Maya immediately assessed the man's condition, checked his pulse with professional precision. That wasn't basic first aid, that was advanced medical training. The truth was that Maya Chen hadn't always been a barista. For 8 years, she'd been Petty Officer First Class Maya Chen, Naval Special Warfare Development Group. Navy SEAL. She'd conducted classified operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Somalia. But that life had ended 5 years ago when her team was ambushed during a rescue mission in Syria. 3 teammates died. Maya survived with wounds that healed, but psychological scars that made her question everything. She had chosen Seattle because it was far from military life. Harbor Café represented everything she had fought to protect. Normal people living peaceful lives. She had created a quiet existence where the most dangerous thing she faced was running out of oat milk. Maya had convinced herself she was done with violence, done with hypervigilance. She just wanted to make coffee and forget about the part of herself trained to kill. But some training never leaves you. The first sign of trouble came on a Tuesday morning in October. Maya was working the early shift when she noticed a man lingering outside the cafe. He had been there for 20 minutes, pretending to read a newspaper while actually observing the interior. Maya's military training kicked in automatically. She cataloged his appearance, mid-30s, athletic build, leather jacket, constantly checking his phone. His positioning allowed him to see both the cafe and the bank across the street. The man made a phone call, spoke for 30 seconds, then walked away. Maya tried to dismiss it as paranoia, but part of her knew her threat assessment had been correct. Over the next few days, Maya noticed other anomalies. A different man asking questions about the cafe's schedule. 2 teenagers taking photos, claiming a school project. The real confirmation came Friday evening. Maya was closing alone when she noticed a van parked across the street for 40 minutes. Two figures inside watching the cafe. Maya's SEAL training took over. She memorized the license plate, identified potential weapons within the cafe, planned escape routes. She also researched recent crime patterns. There had been a string of armed robberies targeting small businesses during closing hours, always involving 2 or 3 perpetrators. Maya realized Harbor Café fit the profile perfectly. For the first time in 5 years, Maya felt the familiar weight of responsibility. She could quit, walk away. But Harbor Café wasn't just her workplace, it was her community. Maya made a decision that would change everything. Instead of running from her past, she would use it to protect her present. Saturday morning started normally. Maya arrived at 6 a.m., prepared machines, arranged pastries. Jake was scheduled for afternoon shift, leaving Maya alone during quieter morning hours. At 8:47 a.m., the van pulled up across the street. Maya watched 2 men get out. They wore loose jackets that could conceal weapons. Both moved with controlled aggression of people preparing for violence. Maya continued making coffee, but her mind operated in full tactical mode. She assessed current occupants: elderly couple sharing newspaper, young mother with toddler, businessman on laptop, 4 civilians who would become hostages. The 2 men entered at 8:52 a.m. Maya knew immediately her assessment was correct. Their eyes swept the room looking for cameras, counting customers, identifying threats. "Good morning," Maya said quietly. "What can I get you?" The taller man smiled. "Just coffee." "Black, and we'll take whatever's in your register." The second man pulled out a handgun and pointed it at Maya. "Everyone stay calm, and nobody gets hurt." Maya's reaction was immediate. Instead of fear, she felt familiar calm that had carried her through countless operations. Her SEAL training kicked in, evaluating the tactical situation. Target 1 was 3 feet from counter, blocking main exit. Target 2 held the weapon incorrectly. Amateur mistake. Both focused on Maya, not watching other customers. "Okay," Maya said calmly, moving toward register. "No problem." But instead of opening the register, Maya positioned herself for what she knew would come next. Because after 8 years of special operations training, she understood that the most dangerous person in any room is often the one who looks least threatening. Target 2 stepped closer, putting him within Maya's reach. That's when Maya moved. Maya's response was so fast that witnesses would struggle to describe it. In one fluid motion, she grabbed Target 2's wrist, twisted the gun away, and used his momentum to slam him face first onto the counter. The handgun clattered behind the counter. Target 2 was unconscious before he understood what happened. Target 1 reached for his weapon, but Maya was already moving. She vaulted over the counter with athletic precision, her foot connecting with his wrist as he drew his gun. "Everyone get down!" Maya shouted, her voice carrying unmistakable authority. "Stay low and move toward the back exit." Customers immediately obeyed, recognizing the change in Maya's demeanor. This was no longer the quiet barista. This was someone trained to handle exactly this situation. Target 1 was bigger than Maya, but size meant nothing against her training. He swung at her, but Maya deflected and responded with precise strike to his solar plexus. He doubled over, gasping. "Stay down," Maya commanded calmly. "Don't move and you won't get hurt." Target 1 tried to reach the gun that had slid toward the window. Maya moved behind him, applied a sleeper hold with textbook precision, and held it until he lost consciousness. The entire confrontation lasted less than 30 seconds. Maya quickly secured both weapons, checked customers were safe, and called 911. But her mind was processing the aftermath. Her cover was blown. The quiet life she had built was over. Jake arrived as police took the robbers into custody. He stared at Maya with bewilderment. "Maya, what happened? Where did you learn that?" Maya looked at him for a long moment, then made a decision she had avoided for 5 years. "Jake, I need to tell you something about my background." Detective Sullivan, one of the responding officers, approached with professional curiosity. "Maya, I've been coming here for 3 years. I had no idea you had that training. Are you law enforcement?" Maya shook her head. "Military, Navy, Special Operations." The words hung in the air. Sullivan's expression changed. SEAL, Maya nodded. 8 years, retired 5 years ago. Dr. Kim, who had arrived after hearing about the incident, wasn't surprised. I knew there was something different about you. Your situational awareness, how you handled that medical emergency. Maya looked around the cafe, at customers staring with amazement and gratitude. The elderly couple was safe. The young mother and child were unharmed. I just wanted to make coffee, Maya said quietly. I wanted a normal life. Sullivan placed a hand on her shoulder. Maya, what you did today was extraordinary. But why were you working as a barista with that background? Maya looked out at the street she had come to love, the community she had protected, without them knowing. Because this is where I belong. This is what I was protecting all along. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. By evening, Harbor Café was filled with customers who had heard about Maya's actions. But the atmosphere was different. People looked at her with awe and curiosity that made Maya uncomfortable. Tom Bradley from the bookstore asked the question everyone wondered. Maya, how long were you planning to keep this secret? Maya was cleaning the espresso machine, trying to maintain normalcy. I wasn't keeping it secret to deceive anyone. I was keeping it secret to protect it. Mrs. Henderson, a longtime customer, approached the counter. Dear, I've been thinking about all the times you've been here for us. You always seem to know exactly what to do, Dr. Kim interjected. You were protecting this place, protecting all of us. Jake, processing the day's events, finally spoke. Maya, I always wondered why you never seemed stressed, never panicked. Now it makes sense. Maya set down her cloth and looked at the faces around her. These people had become her family. They deserved honesty. I left the military because I was tired of violence. I wanted to be part of something that built up instead of tearing down. This cafe, this community, this is what I fought to protect. Detective Sullivan overheard. Maya, what you've done here is remarkable. You didn't just transition to civilian life, you became a guardian of it. I never wanted to be a guardian, Maya replied. I just wanted to make coffee. But you couldn't help yourself, Tom observed. You saw threats others missed. You were protecting us even when we didn't know we needed protecting. Maya realized Tom was right. She had unconsciously been conducting security assessments, identifying threats, positioning herself to respond to emergencies. So, what happens now? Jake asked. Are you going back to the military? Maya looked around the cafe, at the bullet hole that would need repair, at customers now looking at her with respect. I'm going to keep working here, but I'm going to stop pretending I'm not who I am. Dr. Kim smiled. Maya, you never stopped being who you are. You just found a different way to serve. For the first time in years, Maya felt complete. She was still a warrior, but now she was a warrior who made excellent coffee. She was still a protector, but now she protected a coffee shop instead of a military objective. 2 weeks later, Maya arrived to find a crowd outside Harbor Café. For a moment, her instincts kicked in, scanning for threats. But then she saw the banner. Thank you, Maya, our hero barista. Mrs. Henderson stepped forward with flowers. Maya, we wanted to show appreciation, not just for that day, but for everything you've done for 5 years. Detective Sullivan added, I've been investigating the robbery crew that targeted you. They had hit 6 other businesses. You didn't just stop a robbery, you stopped a crime spree. Tom Bradley said, everyone has stories about times you helped them, times you noticed things that seemed off. You've been protecting this entire community. Maya looked at faces around her, realizing her secret hadn't been as well kept as she thought. You all knew, Dr. Kim laughed. We suspected, but we respected your privacy. Jake appeared with coffee. Maya, I've been thinking about what you said. You've been making more than coffee. You've been making this place safe. Maya took a deep breath, feeling 5 years of pretending lift from her shoulders. I realized I don't have to choose between being a warrior and being a barista. I can be both. Over following months, Maya's story spread throughout Seattle. She received job offers from security firms, speaking requests from veteran organizations, interview requests from news stations. She turned them all down. Instead, Maya continued making coffee. But she also began working with local police to identify security threats. She started self-defense classes for business owners. She mentored veterans struggling with civilian transition. Most importantly, she stopped hiding who she was. One morning, 6 months later, a young veteran named David approached the counter. Maya recognized the signs: hypervigilance, social awkwardness, struggle to find purpose. "What can I get you?" Maya asked. "Just coffee." "I heard you're former military." Maya nodded. "Navy, 8 years. Army, 4 tours. I'm having trouble adjusting." Maya looked at this young man who reminded her of herself 5 years ago. "Are you looking for work?" "I don't know what I'm qualified for." Maya smiled. "I might have a job opening. It involves making coffee, but also protecting this community." "Interested?" David's eyes lit up. "Yes, ma'am." Maya handed him coffee and an application. "Welcome to Harbor Café. We'll start training tomorrow." As David left with new hope, Maya realized her story wasn't about giving up her military identity. It was about finding a way to serve that honored both who she had been and who she had become. She was still Maya Chen, Navy SEAL. But now she was also Maya Chen, guardian of Harbor Café, protector of the community, mentor to warriors finding their way home. Every morning she made perfect coffee with the same precision she had once used to serve her country. Because some skills translate perfectly from battlefield to coffee shop. And sometimes the most important battles are fought 1 cup at a time.